everyone. Thank you very much for coming to our first group session for Student Success Starts Here. As you can see, in the middle of the table is a box of tissues. So I want you to take as many as you think you may need. I'm not going to tell you just what, we're going to do a little activity with it, but as many as you think you might need. All right, so here's the instructions. For each of the tissues that you just pulled out of the box, you are going to share something with the rest of the group. Okay? Everybody thinking about that? All right, so we will start. I will start by, of course, ladies and gentlemen, introducing. All right, so I will start. I have two tissues. Of course, want to say my name. My name is Mrs. Hughes, and I will be leading these small group sessions. I have two tissues. My first one, a fun fact about myself is I have been a teacher in Harupa Unified School District for 12 years.
All right, so my name is Erica, and this is my first year in high school.
Okay, so my name is Anna, and I like to go to the movie theaters.
My name is Amanda, and my favorite movie is The Little Mermaid.
My name is Joy, and I'm 14 years old.
I have one more fun fact. I have 3 little girls.
Another fact about me is I am actually very shy.
Fun fact about me is that my favorite candy is peanut butter cups.
Very good. Ladies, thank you for sharing all that information. It's very important as a group that we get to know each other, that we understand each other, and that we are willing to share things about each other. So thank you very much for sharing a little bit about yourself. And I hope to get to know you, ladies, a little bit more as we meet over these next few sessions. And I hope you will get to know more about each other as we do this, okay? So the next thing that we're going to talk about, ladies, is the Student Success Starts Here group. We're going to take a minute and we're going to reflect upon this quote that I have selected here. And we're going to answer 3 questions on a Post-it note. So what I've provided on the table, and you have pencils there, I see, is you're going to read this quote, and then on your Post-it note, we're going to take a few reflective minutes, and we're going to think about the answers to these 3 questions. And we're going to write those questions on your Post-it note, and then we're going to share with each other. Okay? So once your mindset changes, everything on the outside will change along with it. So I want you to think about that for a second, and just kind of in some silent reflective time, I want you to consider these 3 questions. What do you think mindset is then? The second question, what does mindset have to do with success in the classroom? And then the last question there reads, what skills do you need to be successful in the classroom? Ready, just go ahead and get your pencil down, and you know the rest of the group will know it's time to move on. Perfect. So once again, the quote says, once your mindset changes, everything on the outside will change along with it. So the first question I ask is, what do you think mindset is? So anybody want to share?
I put the way I think.
Okay, so your mindset's the way you think. Anybody else think something along those lines? Have something different to share?
Maybe your personal thoughts, opinions, and views on a specific topic or issue.
Okay, so your thoughts, the way you think about something, okay? Anything else?
I kind of wrote something the same. I said that the mindset is your view. Your mindset is your view on life, and it can be how you look at things, whether it's positive or negative.
Okay, so a positive or a negative mindset, you could have either. Okay. What about that second one? What does a mindset have to do with success in the classroom then? So is she building upon what Amanda said about positive or negative?
I put having a good attitude, that you go to class and you're ready to learn and you're gonna do your best.
Okay, so a positive attitude, go into class and with a positive attitude would allow you to do better.
Right.
Okay. Can you agree with that one?
Yeah. Just to add, maybe it can definitely determine your success in the classroom. Because, for example, if you have a mindset that never changes, then you won't be able to experience what it's like in another person's point of view.
Okay, so maybe building upon what Joy said, a positive mind frame can kind of help you in class. A negative one might just hold you back. Okay. And then the last one says, what skills do you need to be successful in the classroom?
Responsible.
Okay, being
Definitely.
responsible.
Yeah.
I put be a good listener.
I put down to stay organized.
Communication.
Communication skills, all very important. So what we have been talking about, what we talked about in our pre-group meeting a few weeks ago, is that this group is designed to help us work on these. All of these skills that you mentioned are very important skills, and a lot of it starts with our mindset and our mind frames and kind of looking at ways to be successful by using these skills in the classroom to be more successful students in the classroom. So we're going to work on that in the next few weeks as our Success Starts Here group. So in order to kind of build upon that, what I would like to do now is kind of set up how this group is going to work. We're going to talk about build our rules and our norms for our group pod to separate patient, because we are the Jaguars. I put the pod up there. So what I would like to do is there's some sticky notes that you have on the table. And what I would like you to do is write down quickly what are some rules that you think we need for our group to be successful. What kind of rules, what kind of norms, what kind of things should we follow in order for us to find success in this one? And then as soon as you're done, our signal will be that the pencils go down, so we're ready to share. Perfect. Anybody want to share something they think is important in order to provide a good, safe environment for everyone in the group and in these small groups, some tasks that we should all abide by?
Respect each other's views and opinions.
Respecting each other's views and opinions.
Be respectful of everyone's time.
Respectful of everyone's time. And by that, how should we show that respect for each other's time? How should we make sure that we're respecting each other's time? What can we do? Arrive on time. Arrive on time.
Cell phones? No cell phones.
No cell phones. Wonderful. Giving our attention to the group by not being distracted by our cellular devices. Anybody else?
I put on here to be a good listener. But
A good listener, an active listener, making sure that we are involved in the conversation, looking at the person talking.
And I put take turns speaking.
Take turns speaking, always very important. Let the person finish what they're saying before another person begins. If you would like to speak, maybe we can use the symbol of raising your hand to speak if you'd like to speak after somebody else has finished. all wonderful ideas. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take those ideas, ladies, and I'm gonna stick them on the pod. And next week, when we come in for our second meeting, what we'll see is not on Post-it notes, but actually well written out, we'll have a poster. And on that poster shaped like this pod will be all of our rules and norms. So we will hold and abide to our rules and to our norms, and we'll review them at the beginning of next meeting, just to remind ourselves what we agreed to upon this meeting here, okay? So that being said, I keep calling this meeting the student success meeting, but maybe we could think of a more personalized name. Maybe we could think of a meeting for the group that we could all agree upon. So I don't know if there's anybody that,
Well, I like how you have the PA there. Can we be a positive mindset group?
positive mindset group. Ladies, what do you think of that?
Yes.
Positive mindset group. So again, when we come in, our poster will be labeled our name that we have agreed upon, our positive mindset group. So we will definitely get that, review that, and look that over next week when we come in. The next item, I'll keep these for safekeeping for our next meeting so we can make sure that we reviewed that, is again for next week. We're running a little short on time today, and I want to respect our time because that was one of our rules and norms that we agreed upon. For next week, I do have a little bit of homework for you to think about in the next week before we show up to our next session. I would like us to think about what are 4 goals that we can set for the sessions we have left. So we know we have 2 sessions. I would like you to think about 4 goals. Come in ready to share. 4 goals that you think this group, with our positive mindset group ideologies, what can we bring to the group? What kind of goals should we have to change our mindsets? And then the last and final piece that I want to talk about is this idea of confidentiality. And I know we talked about that in our pre-group screening, but I do want to talk about it just a little bit more so we can all be on the same page. So, confidentiality. Now, we talked about that the meaning of confidentiality is that whatever happens in our group stays in our group. Okay, we mentioned it, but I just want to make sure we're all agreeing upon this idea. Why is it important for our group? Why do we think that confidentiality in our small group is important? Anybody want to share their thoughts? Joy?
Because if we feel like someone's gonna say something outside, we're not gonna wanna share anything.
So there's an amount of trust that needs to be built within the group. And there may be some information or thoughts that you share with the group that is not necessarily needing to be shared with the whole world. So it's important that we understand and respect each other's confidentiality, that whatever happens in this group stays within this group. Now, what happens when somebody breaks the confidentiality rule? Is there maybe something that that person should then do, or what do you think is an appropriate?
You no longer feel comfortable sharing.
Okay, so maybe that person needs to apologize to the group. Okay, so that will be our norm for that, is that we are understanding the rule of confidentiality, and that let's make sure to really, really stick to that. But it is something that that person's gonna have to apologize for and make sure that they apologize if they do break that rule. Okay? And then the final one is, when might Mrs. Hughes need to break the confidentiality rule? And this one here is, as a mandated reporter and a school employee, it is important that you understand there are times when I may need to break my confidentiality with you. And that's if you are going to harm yourself or have threatened to harm others, or if I feel that there's a situation that is unsafe for you, whether that is an adult involved or somebody else involved, an adult or parent or another guardian. I may need to break that confidentiality because I am a mandated reporter, and that is something I will need to get somebody else involved. So there will be times, but I'll of course let you know ahead of times that you know those situations. Okay, so I just wanted to bring that up. Now, I know our time is running short and you have class to get to, so I'm going to thank you ladies for this first meeting. I thought it was very successful, Is there anything any of you want to add before we close out our meeting? No? All right, ladies, well, it was a pleasure to meet you. I'm so glad we're here, and I can't wait for our next meeting.